Hello, my very dear Virgos. This is your reading for the week of June 8th, or when you hear it and it resonates. And I feel like the first thing I want to say is I felt immediately like I wanted to whisper in your ear, it's okay, you're allowed. It's okay, you're forgiven. And I don't know what that refers to exactly, but then the first card that comes out as I pull is remorse and guilt. And then you get prayerfully, and then you get angels are everywhere. The song that came into my head was an old song by 10cc called I'm Not in Love. Now, Virgo, I think love was an issue in your cards last week. I'm not sure. But what I'm getting this week is very specifically that song, I'm Not in Love. It's very much about somebody very much in love who's denying that they are. But the part of the song that really got me was that whispered interjection, which sounds like requesting quiet, but it's really not. It's be quiet. Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. And that's what I feel as I'm tuning into that energy. Man, I'm just getting shivers all over. And it feels to me, and I'm being reminded of something here, whatever you experienced that made you feel as though you have done something wrong or that you didn't do something right from the place of your childhood, in your childhood, you're being told, Virgo, it's okay. You're forgiven. And in fact, you weren't responsible. Whatever held you back, whatever made you feel as though you were guilty in your childhood, it's time. It's time for you to look at that and let that go. You know, very often what we see when our adults around us behave badly, not even necessarily directly towards us, but if we watch them in the environment, the tendency is that a child is going to look at this person who's supposed to be their security and then somehow take on whatever it is about that person, take on the blame for them being who they are. And not necessarily the blame for who they are, although sometimes that can happen, but they can take on the guilt at the fact that they were not able to change them or help them be different or interfere with whatever was going on. And sometimes it's conscious and it's around really specific behaviors, and other times it's just this sense of feeling like something's not quite right in the family, but not knowing what to do to fix it. And that, you know, as children, we have a tendency to want to take on the belief that we can change something because if it is chaotic or if it's difficult and it interferes with our sense of security, which is really important for an earth sign, really important for you, Virgo. If it disrupts our sense of security, it's actually in one way something our brains will do to kind of create the sense of security based on the fact that we can fix it or we can change it. And so then we always have that sense that we grow up with an obligation to change things and make things better. But it can really lead us to that sense of, I didn't do it. So you can constantly be looking for situations that you get to fix so that you can kind of remediate what happened earlier on. Well, now this is saying, no, you don't need to do that. What you can do now is you can look at whatever those behaviors are for you, anything that you have remorse or guilt about, and you can really question yourself from that prayerful place, from that really self-seeking place, from a place of loving yourself, and not just loving yourself, but allowing yourself to really own the innocence of your childhood. Own the innocence of who you are. Because when we grow up and we carry with us that kind of remorse or that kind of guilt, what it can do is it can not only create a sense of needing to make things better for everybody in order for it to be okay, but what it can also do is it can really literally lead us into creating situations that energetically mimic some of what we went on of what went on in order for us to be able to interact. Second thing is that it can create a lens. So now we're going to perceive every potential situation with that possibility. So if you're a guy and you're raised with a mother that was really loving to you, but really, really horrible to your brother, you might be very confused about how to trust females. Like, that's just one simple example. It might be something where you are the child of an extramarital affair. And even though you were accepted and loved within the family, there's always that little bit of energy where maybe it's not really connecting in the same way that it does with your other siblings. So we don't really know exactly what it is, and you may not even know if that was the case. It can be many, many different possibilities. Anything that's going to undermine your sense of security, belonging, and worth in the family. So what you're being told here is this. And it just feels so lovely, like really literally, I feel like I want to whisper it into your ear like a little child and say, you are allowed. You are allowed to have love. You are allowed to have abundance. You are allowed to have connection and security and respect, and without the need to take care of anybody or anything in order to justify your existence, Virgo. Please remember, you've got the prayerfully card. And this is important for you because the prayerfully card is reminding you that you are a part of the sacred world. You are sacred as a being. And that overrides, the sacredness of who you are overrides anything that might have been present in your childhood that shaped your personality into thinking that you were anything less. Now, the other thing, you can also look at this, depending upon what your approach to life is and what your template or your model is for your spirituality and your consciousness and your growth, you can look at this and say, okay, I'm going to leave behind that big boys don't cry and that sadness and whatever else is there that's keeping me from really opening my heart to the abundance of love the way I would really like it, and the abundance of connection the way I would really like it. And the love might be self-love, not love with another human. It's irrelevant. It's opening your heart to that. That when you remember that you are not just that child, in fact, you're not that child anymore, that you are an adult and you have the ability to see everything that happened as an expression, as an experience, as an opportunity for your growth consciousness. It's not meant to keep you locked in that state of remorse and guilt and feeling like you got to fix things. It's meant to help you grow beyond that and actually reach into that understanding of yourself as more. That anybody who's hurt you maybe was part of the contract to help get you to this place of being able to really feel that divine innocence, that self-love, and that ability to create abundance with no need to justify it, just that it is your birthright. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that. Virgos, I hope that you hear this, and I hope that it touches you, because it feels to me like it really, really is just this loving, loving presence that just gently wants to remind you, it's all okay, and you can have more. You're allowed. You are allowed. The universe is telling you, divine consciousness is telling you, you are allowed. I leave you with that, my dears. Much love.